Some time ago, I stopped by my brother's house to drop off a gift for one of his kids. As I walked in the door, my nephew Jay came rushing up to me and grabbed me. He said, Uncle Jim, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. Why are you asking? He said, I saw you on the internet a little while ago. You were trying to speak, but somebody was constantly interfering, giving you a really bad time. Every time you opened your mouth to say something, there was this loud banging noise. It was terrible. What were they doing to you? I said, Jay, what you probably saw was my speaking at my weekly Toastmasters club. And what you likely heard was an odd counter aggressively ringing a bell, creating a lot of discord. It was awkward having to explain this videotaped meltdown to my nephew. However, it did have the positive effect of making me think about doing something to improve my awe problem. I decided to adopt a three-step approach to dealing with the issue. First, I'd have the problem diagnosed. Then I'd try to determine the cause, and then take steps to correct it. Well, to get a diagnosis, I paid a visit to the best physician in the area, Dr. Fred Sadler. MD, DTM, LOL. When I went, first thing I did at the visit is tell him my history. Doctor, when I speak in public, the ahs just spew forth like confetti. It's awful. Then he did his examination. Open your mouth. Ah. Yep, you've got it. His diagnosis was that I had ah-itis. He reassured me that no one had ever died of this condition. However, some of his patients had reported that approximately once a week they experienced the symptom of ringing in the ears. I guess I have to awe myself again. He recommended against having my ahs surgically removed. Like tonsils, ahs have their positive uses. Imagine going through life without being able to ooh and ah. Well, now that I was armed with the diagnosis, the next step was to figure out the cause of the problem. That was easy to figure out. It was inherited. Not from my mom. She had been an actress, and her speaking was flawless. Now my dad, that's a completely different story. He came from the border south, and he spoke with a bit of a lazy tongue drawl. He frequently awed. He described the place around where he grew up as Missouri, not Missouri. When I heard him speak when I was a kid, I'd think to myself, poor guy, not realizing people would eventually be thinking the same thing about me. However, I don't want to throw my dad under the bus or leave you with a negative impression. He was a great father, outstanding businessman, played major college football, was long considered the best bridge player in Central California. He had to grow up really fast. By the time he was 19, he was already a decorated combat veteran in Patton's Third Army. When he died a couple of years ago, the Army sent a detachment of soldiers from Presidio for his funeral. So there's a lot of great attributes I could have inherited from my dad. Instead, I got my pa's ahs. Well, now that I had a diagnosis and I knew the cause of the problem, the next thing was to do something to correct it. I decided to join AA, Ahs Anonymous. Now, if you've ever been to an AA meeting, you recall that one of the first things they try to get you to do is publicly admit that you have a problem. So the next thing I know, I'm standing in front of a group of people declaring, my name is Jim, and I'm an alcoholic. However, that wasn't the solution. When I spoke in public, my ahs still poured down like rain. I decided to seek help at my church. But even that didn't fix it. I went there, I said a prayer, but at the end, I still said, amen. My frustration mounted. When I'd speak in public, I still felt at the end like I'd been through the ringer. Luckily, I went back and got help from the best physician in the area, Dr. Fred Sadler. MD, DTM, LOL, BYOB, as in bring your own bell. I asked him, what's your prescription for the best way to treat this condition? His advice was simple. When you're speaking in public, just pause. Wow, I tried it, and it does seem to help. It makes a lot of sense, too. It seems only fitting that since I inherited my pause problem, that to pause would be the solution. Now, I told you about my problem, the cause, and about the positive steps I've taken to try to fix it. As a recovering alcoholic, let me conclude with this limerick. There once was a man named Jim who so much it's a sin. Now he's here to speak to you in hopes to bid his adieu and leave you all with a grin.